Good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America on Wednesday, December 24th, 2014. And this is Live Talk. I'm Blessing Zulu.
And I'm Kip Stube.
And tonight on Live Talk, we are going to talk about the failure by the government to pay civil servants their 13th check or bonus.
To join the discussion, phone us directly at this number 001-202-619-2077 and we'll call you back.
And as usual, Live Talk goes out to Zimbabwe on our 909 medium wave frequency on the 4930-5940 and 15455 kilohertz shortwave Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m.
And on the internet, you can find us at www.voazimbabwe.com, www.voashona.com, and www.voandebele.com.
Workers really are no longer going to enjoy what they thought was going to be the enjoyable festive mood and Christmas, because the majority of them have never been paid their salaries, and those that are expected to pay their 13th checks, they have not been paid.
Taona kuti mari yaramba kubuda, takakurumidzawo kuti tinyore tsamba tichida kukurudzira hurumende kuti izvizire kuti vashandi vaya vari kuchema vakawanda vatadza kuwana mari kunyanya isu varairidzi ndokushaya mari dzebhonasi. Saka ndozvataida kuti vazvinzwisise.
Osolo wawuvula umlomo wawuthi ngebhonasi engingamchasisa kakho ngaphandle kokuzwa kuthiwa unongqongqoshi wezimali nguye owathinta ukuthi ibhonasi uzabhadala. Thina ukuthi bakutshele ukuthi bazibhadala nini abazange bakuveze obala.
Once again, thanks for joining us, and you are listening to Studio 7 Live Talk. And tonight on Live Talk, we are going to talk about the failure by the government to pay civil servants their bonuses.
The cash-strapped Harare government is struggling to pay bonuses to the majority of workers, and the dates keep shifting. New Public Service Minister Priska Mofura says the payments will be staggered, angering government workers. Only the security sector has been paid bonuses.
And failure by government and the public sector to pay salaries is now affecting business, as there is not much activity this festive season. Gibbs.
What are your views on this issue? If you wish to join the show right now, phone us directly at this number 001-202-619-2077 and we'll call you back. That number again is 001-202-619-2077. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp, and our number is 1-202-465-0318. Ye kunjalo ke mfowethu.
Onguka Gibbs nasi tinoda kuti tinge tichitarisa nezvekukundikana kwehurumende kubhadhara vashandi vayo mabonus. Asi kune makambani akawanda vamwe vari kupedza nguva yakareba mwedzi nemwedzi vasina kubhadharwawo mari. Tiri kunzwa kuti kune GMB vamwe vanga vakunzi tokupai chibage nezvimwe zvakadaro. Makambani akawanda ari kuti iwo haana mari yacho yekubhadhara vashandi, uye pari kuvharwa ipapa vanhu vachimboenda kukisimusi pari kuchirwa kuti vamwe vashandi vanogona kutadza kudzokera zvakare kumabasa. Nekudaro tiri kunzwa kubva kwamuri vateereri kuti zvinhu zvakamira sei mumabasa enyu. Tadongorera mukisimusi kudai mangwana inenge iri Christmas, asi zvinhu zvinenge zvisina kumira zvakati nakei. Nekudaro toda kunzwa kubva kwamuri imi vateereri vedu kuti muri kuzviona sei. Of course, the failure by the government to pay bonuses has affected business big time, as we reported earlier in our bulletins. Many businesses were reporting a very low activity, but this is usually the time when business will be booming, but nothing like that is happening. So this is an effect on a knockdown effect on the businesses. So it will not affect only the civil servants, but we also understand that in most companies it's the same issue. Workers are going for months and months without being paid. Others for 2 years, Gibbs.
Yeah, kunjalo kakhulu ke siyakwazi ukuthi isikhathi seChristmas kodwa abaningi benu alitholanga lokho kuthiwa ibonus. Yeah, ibonus ke njengoba uBlessing ngesitsho ke iphiwa izisebenzi ukuthiwa i13th check ukuthi yabe sisibongo ukuthi ayilisebenze kahle nansi imali. Kodwa kukhanya ke eZimbabwe kungazana umumo ka uma kuhle omnotho nxa sikhangela ke la kuhulumende uhulumende uthi kala mali yokuthi anike izisebenzi imali leyi yonke ngesikhathi esifanayo. So ke kade kukhulunywa kuthiwa ke izisebenzi zizaphiwa imali leyi kancane kancane, kodwa ke sizwile abanye futhi esixoxe labo besithi hayi uhulumende vele kakakhulumi ngodaba lolu, ungani uzimele banika amasotsha banika amapholisa kodwa abasanikanga ezinye izisebenzi. Siyakwazi kakhulu ukuthi ke eZimbabwe iholo liphansi sibili kakhulu Blessing. Abanye bazuza ama$50, abanye baphiwa impuphu, abanye baphiwa umombo, abanye abaphiwa lutho. Uzwe kuthiwa umuntu uyahlala 6 months akazuzi lutho. So siyabona ke ukuthi khonokho ke kwenza ukuthi inotho ingaguquki. Nxa ukuthi kule mali engena kumkhonomi kuthi ukuthi phela inotho yakhona iyathuthuka kancane. So siyabona ukuthi kade singawo uhulumende uzuza imali wanikeza izisebenzi kade umnotho welizwe uyathuthuka. So ke sifuna ukuzwa ngani izulu ukuthi kambe lithini ngodaba lolu. Lisifonele khona lapha siqoqeni. Inombolo nansi 001 202 619 2077. Fonani khona manje siqoqeni zulu kandaba.
Of course, for starters, the government workers have expanded from about 315,000 in 2009 to 554,000. That is in 2013, and the Minister of Finance is saying the majority of the government workers are teachers, who constitute about 140,000 of these 554,000 workers, and the government is talking about actually downsizing. They are threatening that some people will be retrenched. I think we have our first guest, that is Mr. Raymond Majongwe, the Secretary General of the Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe. Mr. Majongwe, good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Good evening, Zimbabwe.
We are doing great, and thanks for joining us. Gibbs, you can start the ball rolling.
Yes, Mr. Majongwe, we've been talking to you earlier on, and you were saying that you've actually written a letter to the government requesting an urgent meeting. So what is the reaction of the government so far?
Apparently nothing has happened, and it just shows that the government doesn't take its workers seriously. And the most disappointing fact is that there is no communication officially. Ordinarily, we should be having constant meetings between the Apex Council and government. And I think I want to put the blame first on Apex Council and its leadership. Because I want to believe that many of us and many of you will remember that end of 2013, we had serious problems into 24 when the government was saying they were not ready to accept the leadership of David Datsunga and the other comrades who had been elected at Apex. And they replaced it with a leadership that they thought or that some of us were very suspicious about. Because as far as we are concerned, the silence that is happening within the civil service is shocking and disappointing and disheartening, because we are not only have we been outsmarted, we have been left out in the cold, and the disappointing fact is that the silence that has then characterized the workers' movement has seen government going a step further by garnishing and docking money from the doctors who went on strike. And we want to believe that this is a very serious and terrible precedent that government has set, and we must fight it not in the courts but on the streets. And I just want to say to the doctors, don't waste time going to the courts. You need to make sure that we confront government as a collective and make it a point that government must not behave as if this money is coming from their pockets. This money is coming from the national fiscus, and it's good that Dr. Paul Chimeda was shown the door, because it is such overzealous young politicians who think that they must make good their political fortunes by punishing other citizens. And as far as we are concerned, we are very disappointed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majongwe. We are being joined by our second guest, that is Mr. Bulisani Ncube. He's a Bulawayo businessman. Mr. Ncube, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Ncube, we understand that the majority of the civil servants are yet to get their bonus. The government keeps on shifting goalposts. And when it comes to other workers in the public sector, it's the same story. Some are going for 6 months without pay. Others are saying even a year or two without pay. What impact is this having on the economy?
Probably the first thing which we have to acknowledge is that once you find a government failing to pay salaries, or it shows you have got a very sick economy. And what makes life even more difficult in this particular instance is that you at the moment, the majority of the people who are employed are civil servants. And generally, one would expect them to be paid so that they then spend in the economy. And as they spend in the economy, the expectation is that business is boosted. And as business is boosted, you are expecting more production. And as more production takes place, you are expecting more and more people to get work because there is income. But in this particular instance, once we then find civil servants, which are the majority of the people, and able to get their money in time, it really creates a huge crisis in the economy. And once where we are, it's very, very clear that the government revenue base is so thin to the extent that they are even failing to collect enough to pay salaries. Worse off to do other things, to provide services. That's where we are. And this is it's worrying because if you check in the good old days, it was known that the last paid day of all civil servants will be around the 15th, 16th of December, but you have people getting paid as late as the 24th of December, a day before Christmas. That has never happened. And it is a sign that we are dealing with a very, very sick economy, which is creating serious challenges to all the citizens and the business community at large.
Thank you so much. Regai tidzokere kuna vamajongwe vamwe vari kuti zvaakuitika izvi zviri kukonzerwa nekuti hamuna kubatana sevashandi uye zvekutiwo mapurisa nemasoja vanenge vapuwa mari zvaakuita kuti pasaite nyaya yekuti munge muchitaura nezwi rimwe chete. Pangagadziriswe sei imi sevashandi munozviona sei?
Inyaya diki inyaya yeideology kuti isu sema-trade unions tiri ma-trade union here kana kuti tiri ma-trading unions. Ipamusana pekuti zvinezvi kwatarisa kumaticha kuma-trade union, government yanga ichingorejesta ma-union. Like gore rino kwakarejestwa ma-union mairi anotanga ane zita rekuti progressive kwekutanga. Wozvibvunza kuti chii chaizi chiri kuramboitwa nehurumende? Ndo point yekutanga. Point yepiri ndeyekuti ma-trade union acho iwayaya tomboti ma-trade union ari kuziva here zvaari kucreaterwa ende kuti nhoroondo yekurwisa kodzero dzemushandi ndizvo here zviripo. Nekuti ene zvinoti ukaenda kana pamafacebook ema-trade union vashandi vato vari kupopotera matisheti, vari kupopotera kuti hamuna kuuya kwedu, hamuna kutipa madhayari, vari kuti hamuna kutipa mari nekuti ndakabereka mwana. Izvozvo ukachibvunza kuti ndizvo here zvakafumbirirwa ma-trade union. Ma-trade union ukatarisa kuSouth Africa vanomirira chekutanga kodzero dzemushandi, ende leadership yacho haisi leadership yekuti inotanga yanzi naminista iyi ndiyo leadership iri correct. Ma-union aya ngaasaparticipata muma-party politics, ngaamire otaura kuti isu tinomira semutsambangwena tichidhifenda ma-concerns evashandi. Chireka ndidzoke kunyaya yamandibvunza ini ndiri kuti iye zvinezvi mukatarisa seapex council ndazvitanga pandatanga kutaura, ende chinhu chandakagara ndichingotaura chekuti mukaongorora kuti sei government yaida kuti paite humwe utungamiri pamberi peapex. Nekuti iye zvino ndikakubvunzai kuti pandakapedzera kunzwa kuti apex yataura nenyaya yevashandi vehurumende nenyaya yemasalaries officially ndepapi, misangano haitwi, hapana chinotaurika, hapana the activist militants that we want to see inherent atavistically present mustruggle yevashandi. Saka you sit there woti saka inini ndiri kurasika papi panapa. Nekuti iye zvino ukazvibvunza kuti madhokta akabvisirwa mari, hatina kuona vanhu vachienda kustreet nesolidarity nemadhokta. 96 kwava kusina zvinhu zvakadai zviri kuitwa izvi, ende hurumende yatotetsa kuti vanhu vakaenda kustrike togona kuvaganikira mari, which means kuti hakuna munhu achazoita kuti kuenda kustrike. Ndo zvandiri kuti isu sevashandi tikangoziva chete kuti ramangwana redu riri musimba redu, united with one voice even under different leadership. Nepamusana pekuti tikadzimara taziva kuti hatiparticipate mupartisan politics dzezanu dzeMDC Brown, MDC Orange kana ani achazova mumapati ake, tikadzimara tangoita struggle yevashandi tisingadeedzwi kana kudeedzerwa kuti itai zvakati nangana, we will win movable victories. But as far as the situation continues to obtain, government has allowed the situation where varikuramba vachingoregister ma-trade union to weaken the workers' movement and continue destabilizing the strength that was inherent within the worker movement in Zimbabwe.
Thank you, Mr. Majongwe. But of course, you asked when did the Apex Council last comment on this issue? I think the Chronicle is quoting the Apex Council president, Mr. Gundan, saying that government workers were not aware of the development, that is the changing of the dates for the bonuses, and that they were not happy about the uncertainty surrounding the payment of bonuses to government workers. I don't know.
That is the point I'm trying to make. Nekuti zvinezvi tinonzwa Gundani achitaura in the Chronicle. The meeting, where did he get that mandate to speak? He did not consult anyone. The moment we are going to be speaking as individuals, if government knows that Apex has met, and Apex being a body, comprised Nangana, they've made this resolution. This is part of the game that we have. We cannot continue saying to somebody says we are not happy. Government, how does government communicate if we have not confronted and met it? We are supposed to speak with one voice. Toenda kumusangano navo. Kwete kuti tinongoti tiri kumba kwedu ndiri kwarusape kudo hauko. Ndotosimuka indototi we are not happy with what government has done. No meetings, no proper briefs. We are not forcing government. People have gone on holiday. I mean, I'm not happy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majongwe. Yeah. For those of you who are just joining us tonight on Studio 7 Live Talk, we are talking about really the state of the economy. The government is struggling to pay the workers, and it's the same news when it comes to the public sector. But of course, when there are these problems, the economy will also catch a cold, and as a result, business people are complaining that all is not well because people who are supposed to be buying during this festive season various items and goods are not doing that. Tinemwe mtereri Gibbs tisatadzokera kuna vancuve vamabvudza makadi aiwa tiri nani zvedu tipewo maonero enyu nezviri kuita.
Maonero edu ndeyekuti zvinhu tinotora tsvimbo kana tiri kuvhima totora tsvimbo torowa makumbo edu tozoti mhuka yamuka hatichakwanisi kutiza kuti tibate mhuka yacho. Saka zviri apa ndezvekuti ndiri kuedza kuti inini muone kuti mari yakapedzwa yese yakapera mari nekufamba vanhu vachikampena vachidi kukampenera mbuya mari yobva yapera. Yaifana kupuwa vanhu vaifana vari kusenza. Nhasi uno handisi kumbonzwa vana mai vari kupururudza, waipururudza nezuro, pururudzira mbuya, aipedza mari kufamba nyika yese. Nhasi wagara hake kuhotera. Isusu vana havachadya. Vana Majongwe ava vari kutaura iwawo ngavatarise zvinhu zvakaita saizvozvo. Handi muri kuona nhasi uno vari kutadza kuorganiza ma-trade union avo vega ivo vega vari kutadza kuwirirana. Vanomirirana sei? Kana uchitadza kutonga vana vako unozotonga vana vamwe wazawagona. Kana ivo ma-trade union asingakwanisi kugara pasi vachitaura vese vangazogona isusu kutimiririra havatigoni. Saka mari chaiyo iri kupedzwa nevanhu kwavo tichiona iri kuenda. Isusu kuno kwatiri, isusu kuno kuBotswana kuno, trade union haina chekuita negovernment, has nothing to do with the government, ndiyo enemy yayo. But ndinonzwa vamwe vese vama-trade union kuZimbabwe ndinonzwa vari kukomenta sometimes, it's very good, tanyorera president, tanyorera minister tsamba agent meeting zvisingaperi dzinoibatsirei. Siyana inazvo zvekutaura nemaministers akaiswa nezuro, mwana akaiswa nezuro uno asina chaanoziva nezvepolitics, haana kumborwadziwa nekusenza, unotaura naye chii? Iko zvinezvi umwe wakaenda kotsvaga mari ami kotsvaga zvombo nemari yedu isusu yekuti puwa vanhu iwawo. But when they are not talking about it to people.
Yeah. Aiwa tinotenda zvikuru vamabvudza. Tinotenda zvikuru. Tinotenda zvikuru. Of course, we have tried to talk to the minister about this issue. Unfortunately, we were not successful. The phone was not being answered. But the Public Service Minister, Priska Mupfumira, yesterday told the Chronicle newspaper that due to cash flow challenges, the government could no longer pay the rest of the bonuses at once as promised. So this is where this issue that they are going to be staggering them is coming from. Rega tiende kuna mkoma Martin. Makadi mkoma Martin? Tiripo. Kana kuti tisatadzokera kuna mkoma Martin rambai makabata timboenda kuna
yes, Baba Ncube uconnecting why?
Ngikona.
Baba Ncube ngasikhangela ke ku private sector wazana la kuma factory ngale kunzima akula mabonus kume njani akusitshele kancane.
Ngoba factory ndoda kunzima ngoba sikhuluma kunjenje vele abaningi ngabanelisanga kathesi lokho bezama ukubhadala iholo lika July khona ngale bangemuva kathana nokubhadala iholo ngoba uma komnotho kamangamuhle ngoba sikuvuma uqala ngithi uvele nje kulobudlelwano phakathi kwenzuzo kahulumende lokuthi ngapha ku-private sector kuhamba njani nxa amakhampani egula ukuthi ukuthi imthelo kawungeni uhulumende ngendlela omele ungene ngawo nxa amakhampani engenza ama-profit elokhu etshona esiyana umthelo kawungeni omele usetshenziswe nguhulumende ukubhadala njalo uhulumende nxa engatholi imali eningi ngoba khathesi kukhalwa ukuthi 80% of i-government revenue iya kuma-government ukuthi 20% yiyo expenda kuyikona i-government phela uhulumende yena ngokwakhe uvele emazweni amekuhle is also a huge spender kwi-economy nguyo support industry ngoba izimoto zikahulumende ziyabe zifuna ama-tires zifuna lokhu indleko isekudala ngoba uyabe-spenda la kwi-economy encedisa amabhizinisi but nxa imali ingasangeni ngasaspendi kwi-economy kuletha ubunzima khonapho emasekthari kulobunzima sibili angifuna ukugambela amanga amasekthari ayagula and amaningi akhona akawaguli esemawadini awu-intensive care sibili.
Yes, siyakuzwa kakhulu ke baba khona ngapho ke Ncube kodwa ke ubona njani umholo ke njengoba sithi ukuthi abanye bagcina ukubhadalwa ngoJune so manje kuyabe lisithi baphile ngani la ngomunye phela wabaqhathi baba Ncube.
Khonokho nje kathesi wonke muntu uvula ifirm usoyivulele ukuthi engxenye ngoba amafirm kawenzi mali unga-check ukuthi productive capacity yangikhona is solo 20% and now kuzisa 20% what kind of profit are you going to make and ukuthi umise amabhizinisi akho kunzima ngenxa yokumnotho njalo uzananzelela ngihlala ngisithi ukuthi mina ukusebenzisa i-US dollar ngalokho esikwenzayo akula femingitsho leyodwa engavuka isebenzisa i-US dollar ngoba kunzima ukuthi ifemu nxa ifuna ukwenza uluntu ifuna uyathenga umtshina ihambe ebhenki yeboleka imali ngoba ibhenki akula mali engaboleka amafemu ukuthi bathenge umtshina ukuthi bathenge ama-raw materials nokuthi okuthiwa yi-working capital. You can't even get working capital. Now ungala working capital which means usuproducer at a very small scale. Now usuproducer at a very small scale ukuthi vele nawe kawasenzi lutho. So yiko kusho ukuthi kunzima ke kathi sicela abantu bahambe nkhaya kunzima futhi ukuthi ubagcine ngoba awanelisi ubaholisa lokho zathi ungadonsi uthola lawe ubagcikele mbijana yikho sekuzakala and yikho lapho kwenza uhulumende angabi nayo imali ngoba amafemu iyabhadala umthelo kahulumende izisebenzi ezisebenza emafemu yizo ezibhadala umthelo kuhulumende okwenza ukuthi uhulumende anelise izisebenzi zakhe ngizama la ma-trade unions oba umadongo ngingazama ndithi ngibancedise ukuthi hayi lokho abakuzamayo bangenza konke abakuzamayo bathane kuvalwe kodwa iqiniso yokuthi abakuze bayithole imali ngoba vele uhulumende kalayo imali wonkala so okokuqala ukuthi angazi ukuthi njengelizwe singahlanganisa njani amakhanda siqale butsha sivumelana ukuthi sesiqala kuthakathesi ilizwe lifuna lokhu nalokhu. Uhulumende naye afunde ukuthi nxa uvulela umvundla udla umvundla, ngoba kathesi ubekwazi ukuthi mhlophe ukuthi yena uthe siyazingela wabulala okulikhankanyana, kodwa wasethembisa abantu ukuthi hayi kule bhili mbulela indlela ezingifisi lekwazi ukuthi kubulela ikhanka elilophe yinto ingekho nakho.
Hayi siyakuzwa kakhulu ke baba Cube khona. So he's saying that the government should know, how to spend. He says at the moment, they went out there, they were hunting, they got a jackal, but then invited people for a party, as if they'd killed an elephant. So I think the bottom line here, what he's saying is that most companies are struggling, and as companies are struggling, the government is not getting some kind of revenue through taxes. So that has got some spiraling effects down the economy. So then he also says 80% of government expenditure, as we know, is going towards salaries. And he says this is a dangerous situation because at the end of the day, you find a situation where there is a lot of, no activity at all that happens within the economy.
Of course, some economists will argue that Zimbabwe is like a poor man sitting on a mountain of gold because the country has all the resources, but people are complaining that the way that they are being used, there's a lot of corruption. And as a result, you have these problems. Regaitende kuvateereri mukoma Martin makadi
ndiripo zvangu makadini
tiripo tipewo pfungwa dzenyu.
Inini hangu panyaya iyi manje yegovernment handina hangu zvakanyanya kuwanda zvandingada kutaura nezvazvo. Nyaya iripo ndeyekuti izvi zvinongoratidza kuti nazvoda kuti ndokukundikana kwehurumende kuri kuitikako. Totodoshamisika kuti vanotadza nei kubhadhara vashandi vavo. Isuwo kuno kumanje isusu tiri vashandi vedu vekuve mukanzuro. Ndine imwe nyaya yekanzuro ndanditaura paya ndambotaura nezvayo handiti mari zhinji vari kutora mumakanzuro vachiendesa ikoko vari kutadza nei kuvatambirisa. So ndinoita izvozvo chii chiri kuitika kumakanzuro kwacho hakusi kutambirwa mari, asi mari yacho ndo iri kuendesa vachiti vari kutambirisa chii vashandi vehurumende. Saka ndiri kudoshamisika kuti sei vashandi vehurumende vari kunzi vari kushaya mari dzavo. Vari kushaya mari dzavo nekuda kuti vari kutambisa mari yacho havasi kudini kugona kuti vavake nyika. Ndo zviri kuitika papapa. Kune zvinongoreva kuti kukundikana kuri pachena kwekuti hurumende yakundikana, asi kuti vangobvuma kamwe chete kuti vakundikana havadi zvavo, asi chokwadi chiripo chekuti vakundikana. Ndo chokwadi izvozvo.
Aiwa, tinotenda zvikuru mukoma Martin nekupinda muchirongwa chedu.
Pane yandaenda kutaurawo hamene kuti munogona kuti
ngavauye zvavo, chirongwa ndechenyu, ngavauye tinzwe.
Yekanzuro yechitungwiza
ngavauye.
Handaida kutaura ndiri nini?
Ndafunga kuti pane vamwe vamurira kunza, taura henyu tinzwe, mongoti gaga.
Nokuti gaga panyaya yekanzuro yechitungwiza izvozvo izvi ndokwandoseenzawo zvangu. Gore rino ratopera hadina chatambotambira. Kubva patakaunzirwa iye vanoti management yakabvawo kukaribha vanonzi vamakunda, vakabva nekukaremba vakasiya vanhu vaine 6 months vasingatambiri. Noti akudopinda mu2 years tisina kana chatatambira. Gore rino rapera vatadza kutambirisa, zvatoenda zvakadaro.
Vari kupa chikonzero chekuti kudii?
Vari kuti mari havana.
Ko ivo vakuru vekanzuro havasi kutambira here?
Vari kutambira.
Ipapo panenge paine dambudziko.
Havatomboriko so izvo ndandiriko kuhead office kwacho. Vanga vasiko vese management yacho yese.
Vaenda kuChristmas.
Vatoenda kuholiday.
Aiwa, tinotenda zvikuru mukoma Martin nekupinda muchirongwa chedu. Tinotenda. Tonderai mukoma, toendepi, rambai muri parunare. Mr. Majongwe and Mr. Ngube, please do stay on the line. For our radio listeners, it ends here, but we are streaming live, so you can go to www.voazimbabwe.com and press on live talk. We are streaming live. This is Blessing Zulu.
And Kip Stube saying stay tuned.
once again. Thanks for joining us, and this is Studio 7. Good evening. Tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about the failure by the cash-strapped Harare government to pay civil servants their 13th check or bonus. But the workers in the public sector and also in some councils throughout the country are also complaining that their employers are failing to pay them. The problem here is that industrial capacity utilization in Zimbabwe is down to 36.3%. And of course, employers are saying that there are many problems that they are facing, leading them to fail to produce as expected. There are power outages, water shortages. They are also talking about the liquidity crunch. But at the end of the day, the economy is suffering because business people are reporting very, very low activity during this festive season. Gibbs.
And Blessing, we're talking to the Zimta Chief Executive, Mr. Sfiso Ndlovu, who are saying that there's absolutely no communication from the government. So you are saying that the last communication that they had was with the former Labour Minister, and that is Mr. Nicholas Koche. And he also said that right now they have no person who can actually represent the government in the National Joint Consultation Council. So at the end of the day, he says, everything is in disarray and they don't know what to do. So if you wish to join the show right now, phone us directly at this number, 001-202-619-2077. That number again is 001-202-619-2077. Yeah, abafuna ungena kuhlelo kuna manje lisifonele. Siyalifonela lapho likhona kuna ngapho chana ucingo. Kuna ngapho ke eKezi, kuna ngapho ke eMount Darwin, kuna ngapho ke ePlumtree, kuna ngapho ke koBulawayo. Enkulumane phela fona nisizwe izulu kandaba nasi nombolo 001-202-619-2077. Yeah, asiqhubeke mfowethu.
Of course, the last caller there was Martin, who says he works for Chitungwiza Town Council, and he was saying that they've gone for several months without getting any salary. And I think he was also saying that they were told by their council bosses that, the government had taken money from their accounts to go and pay the civil servants. And he was saying that he's shocked that he's hearing that they have not been paid.
Shocking, really.
That is another problem there. Then there was also Mavudza, who called from Botswana, who was saying that, some of these problems are self-inflicted by the government. He was saying that money was being used or is used for political campaigns, which are useless, instead of paying the workers. And he was also complaining that the workers themselves are not united, and as a result, they are being shortchanged by the government. And I was reading also something very interesting in the Herald, where one official from ZimDef, he was saying that he actually bought a car for 117,437. This is a Land Rover Discovery, and they were saying that the higher and tertiary education, science and technology secretary, Washington Bijo, was refusing to issue a duty-free certificate to enable the release of this vehicle for the Zimbabwe Manpower Development Fund, or ZimDef. So the chief executive, Frederick Mandizvidza, is the one who is buying this car for 117,437. I don't think there's any senator here in America who can buy a car like this using, people's taxes.
Why do Zimbabweans, especially those in government, love such cars?
Mr. Ngube, what is your take on this? Taxpayers' money, 117,000 car.
That's carelessness of the highest order. And that should not be allowed, because honestly speaking, you cannot be buying cars just for one individual at that cost. You can't.
He's not even a minister, by the way. He's just
get motors, cars. What you need is a vehicle which you can. This is where I was saying we've got a serious problem. where this person, once you have killed a buffalo, you want to consume it once over 1 meal, when you know very well you are not even sure when next day you're going to go hunt and kill. That's dangerous.
Mr. Majongwe?
I think where we should be focusing really at this point in time. I'm sorry, I will have to be politically, but Zimbabwe has got everything. It has got the brains, the human capital, the people who are prepared to work. It has got all sorts of minerals, and all of them are mined. Most of our mines are open cast. We have very, very few mines which go down. But what is basically lacking in this country is leadership. That's why we've got a crisis. And once we are able to attend to the issue of leadership, then we're done. This nonsense of where in the last 4 or 5 months we've been concentrating on 5 of who's supposed to be vice president of the country, it doesn't work. We are supposed to have leadership, which we say people are suffering, but we have got the resources. What we do, because all what we need to do is let's tap on the resources. In addition to tapping on the resources, let's encourage foreign capital to come in so that we are able to invest and we are able to protect in this economy. And we don't think that we've got a serious problem. Honestly speaking, the problem in this country, we can beat up all the bush, we can go straight to the Majongwes and come back. They can expect anything. But as long as we have got this serious leadership crisis, we are not going anywhere.
Mr. Majongwe, are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, what is your take on this 117,000 car?
No, I think we would waste a lot of time talking about that because everybody is driving a car like that. I think the most important thing would be, let me just say something. I agree with what Baba Mude has been saying. Thinking as an economy, there's no disagreement on that. But what is it that is happening? Let me start from the top. Apparently, we have a serious problem. The government, which is running the country, has no opposition. So they can do everything and anything they want to start off with. If assume that this problem was a problem affecting Zimbabweans, do you think President Mugabe would have gone on holiday? Knowing that many thousands of people don't have money in this country. But we have an opposition that is drunk, that is confused, and that doesn't know how to get to power. Secondly, come to the point of the labor movement in this country. Only yesterday you were talking to Japheth, the Secretary General of the ZCTU, dissociating themselves and condemning what Chinamasa and those proposed the new amendments. I want to believe that if you go back into your history, you are going to discover that we raised this subject and the ZCTU president had participated in Victoria Falls at a meeting where they were talking about these performance-related wages. Now that it has come to pass, they want to dissociate themselves from it. Let me go a step further. If you are going to look at the real problem that this country is facing, you are going to say to yourself, one, ZANU-PF is operating at its optimum best. Imagine this is a party that has actually created or is trying to create its own opposition, having discovered that they are not even threatened, named DC and many of these offshoots. They actually want to create their own internal opposition. And that is simply smacks. These guys are home and dry. They are not worried. When I'm actually disturbed, when I listen to the ZCTU speaking, why not companies have closed, what? You are allowing government to use these arguments against the workers. You are telling the world that the economy is not functioning. That is not correct. This economy is functioning. And I would want to challenge people. But if people are going to stand up and tell this economy is not functioning, when the ESS, as we speak, there's electricity in every house. There is water coming, even though the water is dirty. People are buying food. This economy is not functioning. I think this is the tragedy that we are giving government and ZANU-PF the chance to run away and say, after after all, how do you want us to address this economy? ZCT has said workers have been taxed, taxes are not being paid. Why are we not taking stock of what is going on? We are playing into the hands of our enemy by thinking that ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is much clever than many of these people around can think. So as far as I'm concerned, we have a serious problem of people who don't know what they are fighting.
Thank you, Mr. Majongo. Regati bonzokere kuvateereri mukoma toendepi makadii?
Mukoma grazing.
Tiudzeiwo zviri kufamba sei. Taurai tinzi.
Ini ndiri kuda kutaurawo mukoma Raymond Majongo.
Taurai zvenyu.
Raymond Majongo vanomirira vashandi vehurumende chete kana kuti vanomirira munhu wese anonzi mushandi sezvaita ana Morgan?
Hatinomirira vashandi vese, asi kunyanya kwatiri ku-progressive teachers weZimbabwe kuvarairidzi. Asi don't forget kuti pakasplita ZCTU, takanga tiriko ku-ZCTU, MDC ikauya ikati isu tisingaiti zvepati, ndobva vatiramba kuti tiparticipate mumaprocesses. But tinodavira kuti kana tichaura zvemushandi, tinotaura tisingasarudzi kuti ndewekwamai John, ndewekwamai Peter, tinotaura kodzero dzemushandi sezvadziri.
Ipapo ndipo muine dambudziko mukoma Raymond. Ini maifanira kumirira vashandi vese because isu vashandi vamwe maparesters ose egovernment tiri kutambura, hatina kana sendi ratiri kupirwa. VeGMB vane 7 months havana kana sendi. Tinopirwa 2 bags chibage pamwedzi, ndo dzatiri kurarama nadzo, tototengesawo makorokoza. Ini muripo musina simba rokuti mukataura nevanhu vanostrika, hurumende ona kuti vanhu vari kutambura.
Ipapo ndapanzwisisa. I think we have learned our lessons. We have allowed the workers of this country to suffer because tiri kufighta parochial interest, personal interest. I think for the first time in 2015, we want a real, sober labor movement that confronts the system. Not to say we want to remove ZANU-PF, because harichiro basa redu. Basa redu nderekuti can ZANU-PF be accountable? Vanoda kubvisa ZANU ngavarwise kubvisa ZANU. If we want ZANU-PF to pay salaries, we want ZANU-PF to make sure the roads are there, our education is properly implemented and properly led, and every house has a chicken, every house has electricity, and has clean water. Those are the issues that the worker movement must be fighting. Vanoda kubvisa ZANU ngavawanisane vabvisane ikoko. We are simply saying as workers, time for us to create a viable, strong, united, militant labor movement has come. And that must happen in 2015.
Ipapo mkomaka inini kana muchiti vanobvisa ZANU-PF aibve because inini kana muchiti vanobvisa moita zvipoka zvokusevenza hamuna kana kwamunomboenda. For example, kuno kwakazangarare kune nzvimbo inonzi Vari, handizi. Iri kuwanika goridhe zokuti dhu. But vanhu variko ndevegovernment nevakuru veZANU-PF, imi muchitaura kuti hanzi hatigona kubvisa ZANU-PF. Kana munhu atadza kutungamirira musha, munomubvisa moisa mumwe. Akatadza kuti momubvisa moisa mumwe. Ndokuvaka nyika iko ndofuna kuti uwande kune vanhu vese. Zvakafanana nokuti mukadzika mumango wenyu mumwe chete. Mumango weyo haungambogona kuunganirwa nevanhu 20 because mumvuri wacho mumwe chete. But mukadzika mumango yakawanda and mumvuri iyoyo inowanda iwakomondeta vanhu vakawanda.
Ndinobvuma nezvamataura. I agree with you. But the most important lesson that we want Zimbabweans to know is that now is not the time to fight kurwisana. Kuti we azodai. The most important thing is to accept kuti the situation and the animal we are dealing with, anonzi Robert Mugabe, even though ane 91 years, haana kupusa. Zimbabwe must grow up. Ndakashamisika indichona vanhu vachicelebrate kuti Mugabe ati pasine ZANU-PF. And totozinyora mumapepa, totopedza nguva tichidebata. Those are not the problems this country is facing. Ngatidhilei nenyaya dzevashandi, ngatidhilei nenyaya dzezvikoro, tokonfranda regime, toita zvinhu zvinoita nokuti tikatarisa maweaknesses iye zvinoi zvikatarisa mapepa vari kuconcentrata nekunyora kuti munhu angagwa anisana Jonathan Moyo, zvinhu zvekunyepa zvatinoziva kuti these are madecoys and red herrings being thrown at us, and because of our naivety we are pursuing wrong things, and ZANU-PF is consolidating itself and gearing itself to govern this country for another 35 years. And that's my prediction. 2018, Mugabe is standing and winning. And zano zvazodai mukuzano yapera zano ine vanhu for the record. We want to be able to address my issues edu by engaging this government, by confronting this government, and making sure that we speak with one voice and stand for what we believe. Not kuti nhafu tachinja mangwana tazodai mangwana vanhu vachiti nyika hatimuti mangwana vachinja. Let us be very clear kuti the agenda yevashandi ndeyekurwira our children kuti vaende kuzvikoro, vana vedu vadzidze, maticha atambire, vashandi vemugodhi vawane mari, vashandi vemakanzuro vawane mari, migwagwa igadzirwe, magetsi auye, dzimba dzigadzirwe. All these are the responsibilities of the government, and I don't care kuti tatongwa nani. That is not my problem as a worker leader. We want this government to be held accountable. Saka isusu, this is where we are simply saying, as workers, we must speak with one voice, we must unite and not allow government to create bogus unions to confuse our situation.
Thank you, Mr. Majongwe. Mkoma toendepi tinotenda zvikuru. Tichiti muve nekisimusi yakanaka mangwana mhorese vamwe kwese kunana chivakane nyama kwa musamba karuma kutengwe handitika.
Alright, mkoma isi kwakazangarare.
Kwakazangarare, handakuziya kwakazangarare uko. Handitika aiwa tinotenda zvikuru.
Ndivaite bato rakasimba.
Aiwa tinotenda mkoma toendepi. Regai titori mwe mutereri mkoma Peter makadini.
Tomara makadini ndimkoma achunga ndiyani.
Ndimkoma Blessing.
Akwa Zulu muri aite.
Aiwa ndiri nani zvangu muri sei mkoma Peter muri kupi?
Ndiri kuchitungwiza.
Kuchitungwiza.
Exactly, yeah.
Zvakamira sei kuchitungwiza?
Ndizokoma mazino wakuna chiko kana kufara.
Matambiriswa awo here imi.
Ndakutotaka kuti vashandi vese kune muzvogoro kuita vakutambura chose. Dzimwe nzvimbo dzafanana nachitungwiza muchinja municipality. I think they went for 13 months without getting their. And then I traveled just on Saturday. I was in Chekutu. And on Monday I was in Shawani. I observed the same scenario. Vana havasi kufara, hakuna chiriko. Zvikuitika ndezvekuti nguva majungwa avanhu kurasa kuti pamwe pacho zvinhu vanofunga zvinenge zviri right vakutaura zvine musoro pamwe pacho vorasika. Pakarasika zvinhu zvese inyaya yehurumende. There is no way you can make the government accountable. Government inoridza ma-election. Government isingateereri makodzezi evanhu. Because zanti zvinozviziva kupinda mupawa yakaita haina kupinda by popular vote. Yakapinda by rigging elections. So saka kuti izoteerwa namajungwa avanhu vari kutaura izvi. Shawa zanti zvotange kuti chero mukaita sei ivo vanhu kundoridza ma-election vachienda kuvana mugabe zezviwa kupedza Christmas hameno kwazi Far East. Pavari nemhuri dzavo. Saka inotaura kutaura kwamajongwe rekuti azi handiziita anotoka ziyani anotonga akaziya kutotaura. Unoziva ndakarwadziwa mwana wamai nezuro tiri mumasvingo road. Masvingo road unoziva kuti yakafanana nedhongi rinoenda kudyayo 10 years richinjira kudya sadhara retingadyi. That road inowisa mari yakawanda munyika muno through matogeti through goods dzinobva South Africa. The road is in a devastating situation. So such a government that do you think can lead the people, can listen to the voice of the people? Such a government that do you think you can tolerate what Majunga is saying? She knows that nobody has story back to the bottom line. We the base of the self-measures from
vamajongwe bopindura itinzwe hanzi mukoma Peter mukoma Peter regai tipe vamajongwe mukana wekuti vange vachipindurawo ndo debate yacho.
Handina kunyatsonzwa pekupedzisira wati hanzi kana ndakuda kuenda kuzanu ndiende kuzanu handina kuti nditaurirei ndizigotati kudii
mukoma Peter
tiri kuti zvamuri kutaura kuti hadini kuti akuda kutonga ndiani akaita ndiani ndobati kuti ipapo itorwara rwedu kuti muri papo makamira paki we will together with you but zvakataura mabhatanzobhatiri watobhatausuzeai navo
I think ndiro dambudziko raitika nevana veZimbabwe. Dambudziko redu guru nderekuti tiri kutadza kuaccepta political reality yeZimbabwe. Nekuti kana iye zvinezvi unoti ukasangana nemunhu oti majongwe akuzanu ndomubvunza kuti chaita kuti udaro chii oti hautatauri zvawaitaura kudhara woti iwewe ini ndinoda kuti vanhu havanzwisise ini ndiri trade unionist handisi munhu ari kuparticipata mupolitics dzezimbabwe in the frame yavari kuda vanhavo ini ndiri kuti zanu ipati iri kutonga wedza yabirira maelections nekuti nyaya yekubirira maelections inyaya yandatoona kuti iti institutionalized muzimbabwe ukaenda kuZCTU maelections akabirirwa ukaenda kuMDC chamisa vari kuchema akabirirwa maelections ukaenda kuzanu vakabirirana ukaenda kunational politics vakabirirana saka nyaya yekubirirana itaiaccepta kamuzimbabwe kana kumachechi chaiko vanhu vari kungobirirana kumatrade union vari kubirirana mudzimba vari kubirirana ini ndati nyaya yekuti majongwe ngaabude pachena kuti haisiyo inosolva problem nyaya iripo ndeyekuti tiri kuti sePTUZ saRaymond Majongwe tiri kuti we need to confront the government nyaya yekuti majongwe ngaaende kuzanu wozondidii kana ndaenda kuzanu ngaabude pachena kuti ini ndiri kuti we need to confront this system make sure kuti masituation zemafarani zedu ngaaadress chinoita kuti vanhu vanotadzekuzwisisa kuti Zimbabwe iri kuenda kupika ndizvo zvokuti tinoti chiudzana nhema chinyeterana chigadzira nyika tisikaoniza zviri paground
dzine influence yetrade unionism hakuna hurumende imwe isingashandire trade union so trade you can separate protect from trade unionism that is a blue line if you are a true person a true trade unionist you know protect and the trade unionism cannot be separated because politics is about the stomach trade unionism is about the stomach so what is the difference we'll be all talking about the stomach and the governance good governance accountability that's all what we are talking about that's what I'm saying kana maku kudabura mabhesi hatina takugonemita kurai hatina kuriponzera kuti ngatitaurezvinoingaengerese iwe vanaekwavo vari vachiguta
aiwa tinotenda zvikuru mukoma Peter navamajongwe tinotenda zvikuru tinotenda zvikuru Gibbs
singakake kumnumzana ke uncube esilayi lapha ecingweni kule message esiyithole kuFacebook evela kuobey uthi kona what a bitter pill to swallow a true definition of demotivation a year to forget workers can't sustain this horrific situation this is an indication of what the future is holding for the country at large baba Ncube so singathi ke njengoba lokhu sokwenzakele ukuthi akula mabonus akula lutho pho ilizwe lizahamba njani ngesikhathi esibuyayo
iqiniso yikuthi nxa laba ababusayo beqhubeka ngendlela eqhubeka ngayo lapho esiyakhona lo nyaka ngo-2015 ukuthi hayi kuzafika inyanga iphele amasebenzi engaholanga njengalokho kwenzakala kuma-councils nakwezinye indawo lokho siyakhona ngaphandle kokuthi laba ababusayo ubathinte akubalekeke okusuka kube kubile yikho khonokho nje ukuthi njengabantu beZimbabwe ngihlile ukuthi ngifake ngesintu ngingafaka ngesithiwa ukuthi we have got a tendency of normalizing the abnormal isimo esenzakala eZimbabwe sivumakala eZimbabwe kuphela hayi kwamanye amazwe eSouth Africa bangathona bevalile imigwaqo bechisa amakhaya uhulumende ethuko upresident uzahamba khonapho yithi hayi akula sibili uhulumende uyehlile ukwenza ulutho asilandaba siyalandela kunjalo ngoba njengoba ngijilo ukuthi akukaze lokhu unyaka engu-34 edluleyo akukaze kuke ukuthi budlule u-16 abasebenzi wonke engaholanga kwazakala ukuthi inyanga abantu abaphangisa ukuhola ngayo bonke abakahulumende ngoDisemba lo nyaka kuze kwakuthi ngeke khesimusi ngoba namhlanje representatives iholela mhla uzakwenzani mhla ka-24 ufuna ukuhamba ekhaya kuholiday ufuna akusela nto ongayenza ngakho uthi kunjalo wena u-expect ukuthi uzahola kule bonus uthi utshela ukuthi hayi ibonus izabuya ngoJanuary obuya hayi izabuya epheleni kaDisemba khonokho kanye kutshengisa inkalakatha yomkhuhlane okhona kuhulumende yazokuthi yahluphi yiko phela leli lizwe okuqhakathekileyo okufunekayo kunye kuphela ukuthi abantu babe nezibindi bamele iqiniso beqede lapho bambizele uhulumende ngokuthi badongo ukuthi abantu abasukume badimande uhulumende ukuthi enze izinto ngendlela e-right musile lapho siyaqhubekela phambili zonke uhulumende senza ngayo le ndlela republic ayijonge ukuthi silakho konke kuleli lizwe sila i-platinum sila ligolide ligcwele wonke la ngemva kwenziyami lapha likhona okufana ngabuya azophanda kodwa okushotayo ngabakhokheli akula mkhokheli lelizwe into yokuqala ukuthi abantu abalungise indlela ilizwe likhokhelwa ngayo okuningi lokhu kuzalandela
hayi ncube baba
silabantu abacabanga izisu zabo bekhohle konke okwenzakalayo yikho usiba lo muntu okwazi kuhle mhlophe ukuthi kulomunye umuntu ongaholanga kodwa athi ufuna imoto ya-117,000 usezicabangela yena yedwa
sime khona apho kwamanje
angavuke itshayelele imoto angavuke itshayelele ya-117,000 kuyini khonokho uzicabangele yena yedwa angisiyo politician even khona nje ukuthi muthi hayi upresident welizwe usehambile kuholiday labantu bakhe ikhiye izisebenzi kahulumende zingaholanga
wathi sime khona apho Ncube siyakuzwa Ncube sime khona apho kancane. So what Mr. Ncube is saying is that Zimbabweans have got this exceptional kind of thing that they're doing. They abnormalize.
They're abnormal.
Yeah. Or normalize.
They're abnormal.
They're abnormal. So at the end of the day, he says, this is not acceptable. So people should be actually prudent and fight for their own rights. So he says, what is also shocking is the president has gone on holiday and left workers unpaid. So he says this is not good. Yeah.
Of course, we also have some messages on WhatsApp. Benson says, Sino Zimbabwe, iyo yakanyima vashandi mari dzema bonus hapo. Yanga yakawambisa vashandi vaye kuti vachawana mari dzema bonus mwezi uno asi apana chavakawana. Then Forest says the next thing is that the government is going to fail to pay salaries next year. Temba says it is true. The economy is so subdued. The bling and partying is not here at all. You remember those days when Christmas was still Christmas.
Yes, you dance and kiss $1 and you enjoy, you know.
Indeed. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, and we want to wish you all our listeners a Merry Christmas, and we want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Raymond Majongwe, PTUZ Secretary General, and also Mr. Bulisani Ncube, Bulawayo businessman, and saying Merry Christmas to you two gentlemen. We also want to thank all our listeners and those who sent messages, our team behind the scenes, our engineers and producers, and from all of us here, Merry Christmas tomorrow. Signing off, this is yours truly, Blessing Zulu.
And I wish to say Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. This is Cape Stuba in Washington, D.C. Good night.